And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, did you see Avengers Age of Ultron movie? Well, if you haven't, why are you even watching this video? I can't imagine. It was a great movie. But anyhow, it was also a thing in the comic books, and the newest Dice Master set is the Age of Ultron's Dice Master set, where Ultron takes over the world and the Avengers stop him. This set, I think, it's kind of interesting because they call it Age of Ultron, but I'm surprised they didn't say, like in parentheses, and Guardians of the Galaxy. In fact, they're like not even mentioned much on this is the starter set. There's no Guardians of the Galaxy in this set, but in the booster packs, there's all the Guardians of the Galaxies except Drax the Destroyer. I don't know why he got left out. But anyhow, there's a lot of new characters. I'm not going to explain how to play Dice Masters. Go watch one of my other videos for that. I'm just going to talk about some of the new stuff that's in this set. Let's throw the dice. First, let's take a look at some of the dice. Over here, you'll see these 5 dice are 5 of the new characters. Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, and Hawkeye. And then these are the 5 original dice, or 5 dice from either the original or from Uncanny X-Men. And you'll notice that they actually changed the symbols for them. And that's partially because they also changed some of the numbers. You'll see Hulk's the same, but not all his levels are the same. While you'll see Iron Man is a 6-4 instead of a 5-7. Not a big deal, really. And you can also see, I think, that it's pretty obvious that the quality of the dice printing has gone up. In fact, this Hulk die, which is slightly translucent green, is one of my favorite dice. There's a lot of new, cool-looking dice in the set, and they have a pretty cool-looking palette. I would say that most of them look really good. There's usually 1 die in each set, which is hard to read for whatever purposes. In this set, it's probably Loki's staff or whatever. It's harder to see the translucent colors, but for the most part, they pop pretty well. The symbols are pretty good looking. Some of them, like Vision, that's just a very sharp looking die. So the dice in this set seem to be good quality. But you're here to hear about the cards, right? Now, I'm not going to show you every card in the set. Well, I mean, I don't even have every card in the set, but I will show you, I think, every character who's in the set. In the starter set, we have pretty much, if you like the Avengers movie, all the main characters from that. We have Black Widow, and Hulk, and Captain America, and Hawkeye, and Iron Man, and Thor, although the Thor in this one is a female Thor, because that's, I think, how Thor is currently in the comics. Ultron, and Vision. Although in this game, Vision's a bad guy, all the different incarnations of Vision are bad guys. So, what do you know? There's also some, I really like the basic action cards in this game. They're very, very straightforward. The action cards, some of the ones I like here, do 3 damage to a target character die, and if you have at least 2 characters with the same team affiliation, you can repeat this one. So you can take out some pretty big guys by working together. Even though I will say Captain America and Cyclops very rarely work together these days. Enslavement, which lets you kill sidekicks. Hulk out. This is one of my favorite, especially considering how cheap it is. It gives Overcrush to one of your characters, which is essentially the same as Trample. Any damage that's, so if they're blocked by a sidekick, the extra damage goes through. I can see this one being used in a lot of games, especially with a cost of only 2. Infiltrate, Nasty Plot, where you get to draw 2 dice and put them in your prep area. That's a good one. Ready to Rocket, where someone gets +2. And Surprise Attack, and the oppression begins. Alright, but let's talk about characters. A new ability that's in this game is Team Watch. Team Watch abilities happen when you field another character who shares an affiliation. So Moondragon here is part of the Avengers and part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you play either an Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy, she gets a +2 defense. Hyperion, same thing. He'll do 2 damage to a villain die. Here, all your Guardian characters get +1 defense. Here, for Starhawk, he gets +1 attack, +1 defense. For Vision, he does 1 damage to a non-villain die. Iron Man, he gets +1 attack. Hulk gets Overcrush. Black Widow, she can't be blocked by only 1 die. It has to be more than 1. So there's a lot of cards in the game that come with Team Watch. Now we're just going to go through and take a look at some of the interesting dice. This one I like a lot because it's the cheapest Hulk there is. 5. However, he can only attack alone, which is a disadvantage. Another card with a disadvantage is Hawkeye. When you field him, your opponent gets 2 life. That's a big deal. At the same time, he only costs 2 to play. So you have to play him and then utilize him right, because if if you're not going to hurt your opponent for at least 3 damage, then you're kind of wasting time with him. So you got to be careful with the Hawkeye. Giant Man is fun here because his stats are 1-1, 4-4, and 7-7. So he's going to change quite a bit. And here, when he attacks, you can re-roll him to try to get to the bigger one. If it doesn't work, you still get to go to the original. Gamora here, whenever she fights someone, she KOs that person. Very useful and fits very well with the Assassin. The Enchantress, when she's fielded, she captures the Avengers. Heh, no one likes her. Daredevil can't be blocked by other stealth characters. Or Captain Universe, you get to draw a die, and if you roll an Avenger die, you get a life, and you can do it again. So that's neat. Although I don't know if it's really worth the 7, but who knows. Captain Marvel, when she does combat damage, she draws a die and puts it in the prep area. Very much like this card, very much. Bucky can't be blocked by sidekicks. Well, one of his things, and also he gets +2 attack. So Bucky, he's a bad guy here, which I like. Beast, this is one of my favorite cards in the game for only 2. If he's KO'd while attacking, you get 2 life. So you want to put him out, attack with him. He's a little oddball in this set because he's the only X-Men in the set. The rest of the set's mostly Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and their enemies. I don't know why Beast is here. Well, he was an Avenger at one point, but whatever. Baron Zemo, whenever he uses an action die, he can pay 1 to put it in the prep area instead of the use pile. So he gets to reuse action dice, which could be very, very helpful. A typical shield agent. These guys are a little bit better than a sidekick, and these guys here can work together to have a higher attack value. Rocket Raccoon, which a lot of people are going to want in their decks, when he attacks with at least one other character, gets a +2. I think a lot of people are going to use him just because he's Rocket Raccoon. Red Skull is a good one here. When he's KO'd, your opponent chooses either he does 2 damage to them or you gain 2 life. This is another one of my favorite cards from the set because you're going to be attacking and defending with him all the time. You don't care if he's KO'd because it's going to either help you or hurt your opponent. Either way, it's helpful. Phil Coulson, hooray for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. In fact, they have enough stuff now that you can basically make your own S.H.I.E.L.D. deck here. And so when he's active, your sidekicks and S.H.I.E.L.D. agent characters get +1 attack. Pepper Potts, all her cards, all the different versions of her say that she can't attack, but she helps everyone else out. She gives your blocking characters +2, +3 to Iron Man. Aww. Odin, all his cards help out Thor, although he always seems to be, yelling at Thor in the comics, but whatever. So he gives everyone here +2, but he also gives Thor a +2 attack. Nick Fury, when you have 3 or more active Avenger characters, he can't be blocked. Everyone likes Nick Fury. Maria Hill, again, you're noticing the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing going on here. Here, when this character and a S.H.I.E.L.D. character die go to your use pile at the same time, you put both in your prep area instead. So she's useful to keep another die active. Loki Scepters is one of the 2 items in this set, which lets you KO the enemy character die with the lowest fielding cost. And you can use it again if you have Loki. Speaking of Loki, here he is. When he's fielded, this is another one of my favorite cards in the set. You roll an enemy character die, and you'll do that much damage to them based on how many energy symbols or field cost. So it's going to be between 1 and 3, likely. So that's a lot of fun to do just by fielding him. Kang, one of the Avengers' worst opponents, when he's active, your opponent has to pay 2 life to re-roll. Now this means they probably won't re-roll, but wow, very good. He does cost 6 though. Jocasta, the wife of Ultron. I don't know why anyone would want to marry him, but whenever the first time she's damaged, you get to draw a die. A very useful ability. Groot, when he's going to be KO'd, instead you return him at level 1. He comes back as a little Groot who dances. Then we have I got the ultra rare for Groot. I love this one. He gives all your other characters +3 defense. We are Groot. Wonder Man, he has a kind of a weird ability. He starts out as a bad guy, but if he's less than 11 life, he becomes an Avenger and gets +1 attack and +1 defense. Very interesting. I don't know. I know that's thematically cool, but I'm not sure if that really matters game-wise. And then we have the Wasp, who, whenever you use global abilities, she gets +1/+1. Ultron drones, which are small, cheap things that Ultron can use that capture opponents' dice. Thanos, who is really cool. He's a 7, but he costs 2 less to buy when you're at less than 11. And he's a 9/9, which is one of the most powerful characters in the game. And this one, he can't be blocked. It costs 8, and it's very hard to pull off, but it can be pulled off. And it's very satisfying when done so. Star-Lord. This one I like because he makes all your other Guardian characters 1 less to buy. Spider-Woman can't be blocked by anyone who has a fielding cost of 0. The other item in the game, the Shield Helicarrier, which actually has kind of a weird symbol. It looks like a go-kart, I think, but whatever. You can basically make a card or a die an Avenger. Turn someone else into Avenger. Ultron, who likes to capture people. Thor, can't be targeted by opposing action dice. Captain America, when he takes non-combat damage, he goes up a level and gains a life. And Black Widow can't be blocked unless your opponent spins one of your character dice down a level, which I doubt they're going to want to do. There's many more cards in this set. There's also 4 zombie-type characters in the set. Now, these cards are rare cards, super rare style cards, but there's Zombie Magneto and several other ones. So they don't actually have anything to do with Avengers, and you might find them in the set. This set is actually fairly basic. There's a few things. The Ultron drones with their capturing rules are a little wonky, but for the most part, everything in this set is very straightforward, and I'm glad that WizKids does it. They added Team Watch, but that's it. They added one thing. They're kind of following a lot of the Wizard magic guidelines where they might add, something new, but they don't make the game too complex, and I enjoy that. In fact, this set has a lot less of the global abilities. Global abilities always make the game, in my opinion, much more complex to play. But I like the basic actions. They're very simple, easy to play. The starter set's a good one. If you like the Avengers, get it. Lots of great characters in this set. You can see them if you like Guardians of the Galaxies or you want to be the bad guys. There's a lot of bad guys now. Take Thanos and Magneto and Doctor Doom and, Kang and put them all together, and what do you get? They should technically all fight each other. But anyhow, this is a very straightforward set. You saw a lot of the cards. There's a lot of cards that I haven't seen yet from it, but I think we saw every character. Those zombie things, whatever. I'm sure some people are going to chase down the 4 different zombie characters, and there's even like an ultra rare of each of those. Have fun hunting them all down, but that doesn't matter. There's enough here for people who like playing it casually like myself. Will have a lot of fun. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Right again. Türe zu!
Geh.